And hello there folks, welcome back to RJB TV with me, your host, RJB. And it's gonna be time for game number 2 between Gensay and 458. Game number 1 was pretty damn good. 458 tried a lot of different methods to try and break into Gensay's base and kill him, but Gensay just played absolutely perfect. Everything that he wanted to do went exactly as he wanted it to play out. His defense was literally a stone wall defense, and 458 could not get himself into that base. And even after he couldn't get into that base, every single move he tried to make after, everything got countered down to the smallest details by Gensay. He was just on top of everything. 458 tried really hard. It just didn't work. Sometimes you just have some of those games where a Terran player is just absolutely beasting on every single level imaginable. And Gensay is that kind of player, not just sometimes, but almost every single game he plays, he's beasting it up against the best Protoss players in the world. But let's hope for 458 here that he can show a pretty damn good game here. That he can finally make his evil plans of world domination come to fruition and punish Gensay once and for all. Is it gonna work? He's gonna go for a Nexus first build order, something I wasn't expecting him to do on a middle spawn location, because going a Nexus first on the middle spawn location against Gensay, that's asking for trouble, because Gensay is the player who will try to rush and stop those cannons in the front from happening pretty damn fucking hard. He will try it really hard. And I don't think 458 is ready for more back shots after he got ass blasted in the previous game. He got absolutely ass blasted in the previous game. At the end of the game, he got shot into outer space. Is Gensay going to find him early, or is it going to take some time? I do notice that Gensay is once again going for a double barracks. I think he went for barracks, supply, not something we often see. Most of the time it's going to be barracks, supply, barracks, and then a supply. He's going to scout with that SCV. I mean, this supply depot was very early. You can see it. It was on 15 supply, and usually you wanted to finish at around about 17 or 18, because 18 is the limit, and it finished a little bit early, but everything is working out perfectly fine. So if 458 was on the 3 spawn location, the SCV and maybe the Marine would arrive on time to stop the cannons, but he's here on the 9 o'clock spawn location. Gensay is unlikely to find it, and Gensay is actually trying to kill the probe to prevent it from scouting the base and getting information on that command center being built on the back. Because that's kind of information you want to keep a secret from the Protoss, and he's going to keep it a secret. I do think he knows it's only double barracks, though, not triple barracks. I think he knows, based off the amount of Marines he saw, but maybe he didn't really pay that much attention to the amount of Marines. The funny thing that 458 is doing here, it looks like 458 is expecting Gensay to try and break the choke. Because that's something Gensay does more than just sometimes. He does it pretty much all the time. Pretty much all the time he tries to break through that front door. He tries it very often. So yeah, I think he might try to do that. And he is going to try to counter that by going for a triple gateway before getting a robotics. He might get Dragoon range. Yes, Dragoon range is on the way. And he's going to build a couple of Dragoons and wager in the back. And whenever Gensay goes for that frontal attack to break through the cannons, the Dragoons will show up and counterattack. And that will mean that Gensay will lose most of the Marines, and the Dragoons will have prime time counterattacking opportunities to try and, kill Gensay. It's a strategy I've lost to a couple times myself. It's not something players often do, because it really does rely on you as the Terran to try and break into that base. It really relies on that. And if you don't do that, well, then you've just bought yourself a lot of time back at home to build up, get a bigger economy, and get your defenses ready for the incoming future attacks by the Protoss. Because going for the singularity charge and a triple Dragoon and then the 6th Dragoon, before you really get your robotics technology up and running, means that of course the shuttle, the Reaver, are going to be delayed by maybe a minute and a half. It really depends on how much gas you're spending on the Dragoons. Are you going to go for 3 Dragoons, 6 Dragoons, or 9 Dragoons? The more Dragoons you make, the less gas you'll have to build a Citadel of a Dune, robotics, a support bay, Reavers, etc, etc. So yeah, these Dragoons and the Reavers will have to achieve something. For now, though, it looks like Gensay doesn't... Okay, he reveals his hands, he reveals his cards. He's going out with the 6 Dragoons, 3 more will spawn very soon. He's got a support bay coming up there in the back, and he's building a shuttle. So it's going to be a 1 shuttle, 1 Reaver build order with a lot of Dragoons. Now, he does have bunkers in the front, and he's getting a range. Because, of course, you get stim, then you get the factory, then you get a range. Or you get factory, stim, range. Doesn't really matter which order you do it, as long as you have everything coming up on time. So yeah, the bunkers are going to protect themselves against the Dragoons as soon as the range finishes up. And the range finishes up, Dragoons step away. And the plan that 458 had has pretty much already failed. Because at this point, frontal attacks are not going to do anything, really. Unless he kills that tank that is pretty far forward. It's really far forward. Like in this situation, you can attack with the Dragoons, unload the Reaver somewhere around here, and hit the tank. If the tank's a little bit further away, right around here, or maybe even here, the tank can still hit the Dragoons if they attack over the front side, but they can't hit the Reaver. So the Reaver also can't hit the tank. So the tank is a little bit unsafe very far into the front, because it's easy to hit with the Reaver. Further back, it's hard to hit with the Reaver. But a frontal attack doesn't seem to be in the planning, because he pulled his Dragoons back to maybe intercept a tank drop. We do have a control tower on the way there on that starport, so a tank drop might be one of 458's plans. He really quickly switches into a triple Nexus build order, because he knows he lost a lot of, well, kill opportunity. He lost a lot of kill power by going for the triple Gateway Dragoon into robotics. Lost a lot of power. So yeah, he's not going for any other attacks anytime soon. He might throw out a couple shuttle drops, but it looks like he's really planning on just getting a lot of economy really quickly, and maybe going into carriers or mass gateway, mass shuttle drops. Like just a lot of shuttle drops all the time. There's 2 more gateways coming up. He has a lot of space for Stargates right here. He's got 2 Stargates on the way for Corsairs. I assume he is getting an observatory, because he's probably expecting raids. Gensay goes for raids very often. So against Gensay, you're pretty much always safe to go for an observer and try and snipe raids. But this time around, I don't see him making raids. He's going for a dropship. That's 1 starport. And he's largely relying on his 4 barrack production. He's got bunkers there on the side so that they don't die to storms or to Reaver Scarabs. He's got triple commander in the back. He's on 49 SCVs. He has 1 scan. He scanned. And he actually scanned the front door and didn't get a lot of information. He saw a Reaver. Did not see the shuttles. And here's the thing. If you see triple robotics, but you don't see shuttles, most often times it means the shuttles are already gone. So not seeing something can sometimes mean that something is already flying into your base, like right here. And this is why the bunker is so amazing. This is why the bunker is so amazing. First off, the Reavers didn't shoot, so nothing died. But even if the Reavers shot, the bunker wouldn't have, you know, died or anything. The Marines would have stayed alive. And he's currently on 1 attack there on the Marines. He's putting tanks on the high ground. A lot of attention to detail. He's really stonewalling his defense yet again, much like the previous game. And I really don't like 458's strategies over these 3 games we've watched so far, because I really think that this is one of the build orders he is weakest at. I really think his strength lies in Nexus, Gateway, and then straight into robotic technology. He's just an amazing robotics technology player. And the more you delay that robotics technology, the harder it becomes, specifically against Gensay, who, as you can see, has fortified his base really well. He's got 4 barracks, he's got 1 factory, he's getting more start boards, probably for Valkyries. Maybe he's gonna go raids. Can't say for sure. He does have 1 raid already finished up, but he might still go for the Valkyrie defense. Valkyrie defense against shuttles is just an amazing and very easy tool to utilize. He scanned the base of 458 yet again. He scanned his bottom sections. I'm not sure if he saw the Stargate here. But yeah, we're gonna get carriers from 458 pretty early into the game. He's progressed really quickly, already on 77 probes before 10 minutes. He's got 3 Forge, double Cyber, double Robotics. Yeah, this is Cybernetics Core. And there's the fleet beacon, getting carrier capacity. Another scan comes down. He's really scanning a lot. He really wants to know what's happening here in the front. He wants... Oh, got a small little attack that's happening. This is what I mean. Oh, we pulled the tank away from the front. Pulled it to the back or to the side, onto the hill grind, onto the high ground. So yeah, the Reavers are actually breaking through the front door quite easily. And at this point, I'm thinking... if 4 of 8 had gone for a mass frontal attack, he probably could have just broken in and maybe dealt some devastating damage. So, at this point in time, I would say that the choice to go for carriers might not have been the right one. But then again, 458 does not have the information we have. He's functioning on the information that he got from getting into this section here with a shuttle and getting a probe into this section right here. He doesn't really have a lot of information. He doesn't really know anything. He never actually got into Gensay's base. So he really just doesn't know what's going on. And look, scan again, sees the carrier. He might not have seen it, he might have seen it, not too sure. It really depends on how long did Gensay look at this section for. Did he look for 1 second, half a second, 3 seconds, 4 seconds? We really don't know if Gensay saw the carriers. We do know that Gensay never scanned this section. But he does have Valkyries on the way, so he is preparing himself. Okay, another scan. Let me very quickly check. Sees the carriers. Okay, this time around he definitely saw the carriers. He definitely saw the carriers. Little shuttle drop there flying back and forth. You got the Marines moving out, waiting to intercept. He knows it went to the top side. Marines are going into the middle, gonna die to cannons. Got the Valkyries hunting down the shuttles, but they might overshoot. Actually, they find the shuttles just on time. Shuttles turn around and run away, but they don't die. He unloads. So the Reavers have been safe, but the carriers... I mean, the shuttles will not die, actually. The Corsairs will die. The Corsairs paid for their attempt to fight. Did almost no damage on the Valkyries. Pretty beefy boys, like 1 armor already finished up, so they have 3 armor in total. 4 armories, 4 command centers. He's on 6 gas at the moment, progressing nicely. The tanks are on 1-0-0 actually, but air is on 1-1. So he prioritized air upgrades because he knew, I guess he knew carriers were on the way. I guess he knew somehow. So yeah, we got 6 gateways, triple robotics, and about, I'd say that's 9 stargates, which means we have 9 carriers moving. Wait, that's 8 carriers. Where's number 9? I don't see number 9. He's gonna only go for 8 carriers. That's not a huge fighting force, but it should give him, I'd say, just enough fighting power to maybe do some damage here on the side. So though we do have 12 Valkyries with 1-1, and the carriers are on 1-1-0. So the damage against the Valkyries is not yet very high. He really needs a 1 attack upgrade to really start doing some damage against the Valkyries. Like, the Corsairs don't stand a chance with their lack of attack upgrades. Goes in, shuttles are coming in as well, shuttles are getting target fired there by the Valkyries, they start to load there on the bottom corner, Reavers are shooting on the Marines, Marines die really quickly, we've got a tank on the high ground that might kill, oh wait, the tank is out of range. This bottom corner is going to take some heavy damage, the carriers all do die though, the Valkyries have done their job. The upgrade superiority over the carriers, the Corsairs, was pretty meaningful. If he had 1 attack, he might have had a different result. If he just waited, like as you can see there on the top, if he just waited a little longer, you could have had level 2 armor, 2 shield, and 1 attack. Instead, he went in when he still had level 1 armor, 1 shield, and no attack upgrades. And I think that backfired, because the Valkyries really took no damage. Look at them, no damage. He did lose 2 of them, but pretty much no damage was taken at all. So that goes to show how important waiting, like 10 to 20 seconds more, can be to get your upgrades in the right place. If your upgrade's not in the right place, fights might just play out terribly wrong. And Gensay has reached a point where he is rich. He's got 69 SCVs, he's got 10 refineries, he's got 12 factories, 3 still on the way. He's got 9 starports. That's more starports than you usually see. Most of the time it's 7, but he has 9 of them. So even if he loses his Valkyries, he's going to be doing massive damage, and he manages to have his Valkyries get right through that cannon line, right here on the bottom, flew right through, got into 4 of 8's base, so the Valkyries will try to hunt down the carriers as soon as they spawn. Got tanks going up on high ground, ready to shoot and fight. Let me just reduce the sound a little bit. I think it should be fine exactly like this. Finds the shuttles. Shuttles do die, but so do the Valkyries. They die as well. But as I said before, he's got 9 starports. Losing some Valkyries won't hurt him at all. You can just build new ones. You can just build new ones. Maybe even build some Goliaths. Who cares? That's the point of fastest map. Just replace whatever you lose. Just replace whatever you lose. Sometimes it is worth it. So 1 tank stays alive. I guess the Stargates are not really in danger. The Valkyries died. The carriers have been saved. He's got how many of them? 9 of them. He's adding on 4 more starports, so we can build 13 carriers at the same time. A lot of Corsairs finishing up as well. He has level 1, 2, and 2. And level 2 attack is almost done, like 20 seconds more. And armor and shield need about 40 to 50 seconds more, I assume. Not too sure, but I think that's about the time it takes for them to finish at the point they're at right now. Whereas the tanks are on 1-1. He comes in there. The Valkyries are still lagging on the bottom. They're coming from the bottom. They're flying in. He's not flying in. He's just going to let the tanks die. I think at this point, Gensay just wants to kill the cannons on the middle. Just get some ground. Carriers come in. Starts shooting. Corsairs are hunting down the Valkyries. Valkyries run away. Gets an EP there on the Corsairs. That might just change the fight. Shields are gone. They died really quick. We need level 2 attack upgrade and armor upgrade there on the Valkyries. Level 2 for ground is on the way. Level 3 for air is on the way. He's getting locked down as well. Carriers are splitting up. But the carriers are taking a lot of damage. The Valkyries are less effective if the carriers are split up. Like, the Valkyries are great when the carriers are just all in one bundle. But the fact that he only has level 1 attack upgrade against level 2 armor, it's taken a really long time to kill the Valkyries. Like, look at the damage on the Interceptors. The Interceptor is 8 damage. 8 damage. But he has 4 total armor. So it's only 4 damage per shot from an Interceptor. Those carriers are really not nearly as strong relative to the Valkyries as they should be. But we have level 2 attack finished up just now. Level 2 attack finished up just now. Valkyries are, yeah, still pretty far away from finishing their attack upgrades and their armor upgrades. But yeah, this game really is showing the importance of upgrades. Because the carriers have not been effective whatsoever. They did kill the tank army there on the middle. They did kill a lot of Valkyries there in the fight just now. But they are not nearly as effective as they should be. Purely because cybernetics cores came in a little bit late with the upgrades. That all goes back to that Dragoon opening by 458 that delayed everything they wanted to do afterwards. But we were, locked down there on the shuttles. Great use of ghosts. Shuttles don't stand a chance. And so, yeah, the carriers once again get repelled. He has 4 of them still alive. Gonna heal up those... No, not gonna heal up the shields. He should really be healing up those shields. He's building more carriers here back at home. I think at this point, 458 would be smart to invest in more gateways. He got a couple more, but it's not a lot of them. That's 14 gateways. If he builds like another gateway base right there, he would probably have the freedom to switch from carriers into ground. But then the question becomes, does he have enough ground upgrades? Like, I just need to see something on the ground. 2, 3. I need a zealot. I gotta see a zealot somewhere. Drop over the bottom. He's gonna probably try to draw the Valkyries to the middle. Like, they're on the middle. If he keeps his carriers on the middle, attacking those tanks, the Valkyries will not be here on the bottom. So the drop will probably make its way in. Goes over the bottom side, no ghosts, with energy on the scene. He's gonna unload here on location. Gensay doesn't have a lot of minerals. He unloads his High Templar, storms on the SCVs, and actually does get a couple of kills. Not a lot, he got 11 kills. It's not much, he had 69 SCVs, down to 58. Does he have anything else in there? Oh, we almost got it. So what he was trying to do is unload a Zealot or a High Templar on top of the SCVs, and the tanks sieged up right next to the SCVs will kill the Zealot and the SCVs at the same time. And given the amount of money Gensay has at the moment, that would have been a disaster for him. He would have opened up the game for 458 to just go into full-on aggression. Sadly, it didn't work. So I think we have... What are the upgrades there on the Zealots? I'm too late. Okay, 2, 3, 2. And he's getting his last couple upgrades at the moment. The carriers are on... Okay, just gotta find a Corsair. 3-3-2. Level 3 attack for air is on the way. The ground for 4-5 for Gensay is on 2-2. The Valkyries are on 3-3. So the Valkyries still have the upgrade advantage, but their damage has gone down a lot against a 3 shield and 3 armor. Although the shields are just gone, he has the shield batteries to get those shields back. So the EMP effective, but not as effective as he would have liked it to be. Shield batteries are pretty damn awesome. We have, how many Valkyries? I'd say about 14 Valkyries flying back and forth. Ghost there on the top. Big drop coming over the top. This big drop, actually, it might go in. It depends on whether he saw the shuttles leaving. So he finds a pretty good spot. No ghosts within range. This one ghost might get one lockdown. Nope, can't get it. No energy. It's 1 storm, 2 storm, 3 storm, 4 storm, 4 storms. And he sadly doesn't get that many kills. I think he got about 10, maybe 14 kills. It's something, not much, but it does slow Gensay down a little bit. It does slow him down a little bit because now he has to build another wave of SCVs to replace the few we lost. It also ensures that Gensay cannot just start mass producing and mass attacking. He has to wait a little bit, sit in the back, rebuild those SCVs, and when his economy is stabilized, he can move out and attack. But the problem is, most of his army is in Valkyries, which is also why it would be really nice for 458 to have more gateways. Because he can maybe lock Gensay into mass Valkyrie and go for a gateway army switch with mass Zealots, Dragoons, Dark Templars, and overpower the ground force, because Valkyries cannot shoot onto the ground. It could be a nice way of leveraging unit advantage by having a composition of units Gensay can fight against. Okay, he's got 1 lockdown, 2, 3 lockdowns. He locked down the same shuttle twice, so the Templars do unload. They got to storm off all the Valkyries, but they're still pretty healthy. The Templars didn't do as much as they would like to. The carriers retreat yet again as they decide to heal up their shields with the shield batteries. And yeah, he does kill some turrets. Not a lot of them, but some turret kills is pretty damn good. It opens up this bottom corner to be a little bit more accessible to future drops, and that's what he's going to try to do, because this is his angle of attack. He's got his proxy shield battery base here on the middle of the bottom of the map. Tanks move into the middle. Now this is the great thing about just moving out with your tanks when you're playing against carrier Corsair. It forces these carriers to move into the middle, where they become a slightly easier target for the Valkyries when the carriers are away from the cannons. Plus, of course, you do make some ground gain. You gain some ground on the middle by killing those cannons. This is a very smart thing to do, because tanks cannot fight against carriers. So have them just push and kill while you defend, or fight the carriers somewhere else. EMP there on the Corsairs. This might pull the Valkyries into action. He's actually playing it very safe. He's scanning the map. He wants to be sure what's happening. He scans for drops. Sees a drop being loaded up. Sees no carriers in production. That's pretty good information he got there with the double scan. That's also why he's keeping the Valkyries back at home. Because if he pulls the Valkyries into the middle, there is a chance that 458 will use that move by Gensay to drop over the bottom. It's also why he has those ghosts. The ghosts are like his last line of defense against shuttles, but drops that go in. Gensay didn't notice. Okay, double lockdown. Got 2 shuttles, but a lot of shuttles do arrive on location. He's loading a lot of Zealots, and Templars are on the scene. He's going to try to storm all those SCVs, but they run away to safety. A couple of them do go down. That's a pretty good storm that gets 13 kills. The other one got 4 kills. He cleans out the entire backside. There's actually only 39 SCVs still left alive. That's not a lot of SCVs. But the carriers also still alive. The shield batteries here are really keeping them alive, allowing them to attack, get the shuttles into Gensay's base and then retreat to safety, heal up, and then go for another fight. Also, these cannons are very far forward. Gensay at the moment has such a low amount of minerals and such a low amount of SCVs, he cannot push into the middle. So 458 is establishing control over the map pretty damn hard at the moment. Great shield batteries there. Defensive matrix is there on the Valkyries. Again, the carriers go into heal up their shields, and I'm gonna have a sip of my drink because we are currently at a moment in time where not much is happening. We're kind of Gensay is rebuilding. He's pushing with his tanks quite aggressively. The carriers are gonna go for another bottom side attack as a drop there flies in. Drop comes in, but the Valkyries intercepted, nothing unloads. Actually, High Templar's on the scene. Storms on the Valkyries, actually barely misses the Valkyries. The Corsairs again went down. The Corsairs are a great addition, but every single time the Corsairs come in, they get EMP, and then they just are so much easier to take down. So usually if you don't EMP the Corsairs, they have some real power in pushing the Valkyries away from the carriers, which gives the carriers more room to fight and kill turrets, units, or whatever else. But the fact they're getting EMP'd just makes them so easy to kill. They die twice as fast, which gives the carriers half the time to fight compared to usual. So it goes in yet again. Carriers are out of position, Corsairs are coming in, Corsairs pushing the This is what I mean. The Valkyries attack the carriers, but then the Corsairs come in and push the Valkyries away, which gives the carriers room to fight just like this. It's a very interesting interaction, very good composition. But Gensay is managing to, you know, keep fighting it off. He hasn't really ever been really hurt by anything, except like 1 or 2 drops have hurt him pretty badly, but he's still alive. He has a big army. He's pushing forward aggressively. Dark Templar's coming in there, though we do have vessels on the scene, but vessels are a little bit too far in the back, so the Dark Templars get on top of the tanks before the tanks can kill them. So a couple of tanks do go down, but more are there to replace them. He has enough money coming into the bank. He's comfortable. Gensay is comfortable. He's not losing a lot of units. He's comfortable. He's pushing forward. A very strong forward push. His minerals are very, very low. There's a drop on the bottom. If Gensay loses minerals right now, it will really hurt him. We do have ghosts waiting to lock down those shuttles as they come in. So 4-8 is now taking a risk. He's gambling. He's ignoring that push over the middle and praying to the gods above that the shuttles will make their way in, but they don't. They get taken down with lockdown and then shut down by the turrets. So the gamble doesn't work out. He was gambling in giving up the middle. He's giving up the middle in the hopes of landing a shuttle drop on the SCVs. It didn't work out. So now the carriers have given up a lot of ground on the middle. So Gensay has a stronger position now than before, where he has advantage over the middle. So there's almost no buffer time left, or buffer zone left for 458. If he loses his carriers right now, he will lose the game. So he really has to make something happen right now. That's a lot of Corsairs. That's a lot of Corsairs. So many Corsairs pushing onto those Valkyries, and the Valkyries do go down. Finally, 458's composition is working really well. He's cleaning out the middle. The gamble worked out. It's absolutely a massive amount of Corsairs. It's more than 12. A couple died, but they're still there. Exactly 12. They're on the scene. That was a really good push. So he manages to kill Gensay's entire army, and Gensay, having such a low amount of SCVs, is now feeling the inability to produce from every single structure at the same time. He's feeling it. His army is big, but he's really feeling that his money is really low. And now he reaches a point where if a shuttle drop manages to break through and hit the SCVs, he will not be able to reproduce and rebuild those SCVs on time, because he simply has no money. And if he at that point starts losing Valkyries or tanks, he's going to be toast. So now the game is, Gensay is playing it really risky. He's really playing this with a small economy on purpose. It's risky. Oh, that's a lot of luck. That was not the right choice, because now the shuttles are going through. They are unloading, but ooh, the shuttle with the Templar unloaded too early. Storm for the tank is really good storm. A couple of Zealots take down a couple of tanks with splash damage from the other tanks. And the Corsairs killed the Valkyries. It looks like 458 is finally making a breakthrough. Finally got in there. He tried many times. He finally got on the command center. It's getting repaired. Command center goes down right before too many carriers go down. So yeah, great move. Like, if the carriers went down a little bit faster, the damage from the remaining carriers would not have been enough to kill the command center against the repair. It's a really tight, close play. This is a huge hit on Gensay's economy. Also, while that was happening, 458 is throwing out cannons at lightning speed. And of course, Gensay is going to try to stop those cannons from happening. He has to try and kill the cannons and push across the map as fast as he can, because we have carriers in production for 458. There's a window of time here for Gensay to win the game with one last attempt, one last push across the map, but he has to be really fast. But he isn't fast enough. He isn't fast enough. There's just so many cannons being built. Zealots are buying time as well. Gensay's army is, I wouldn't say small. His economy is actually pretty decent. He has 67 SCVs, but his army did get about 15 supplies smaller from the drop and from losing the command center. Because now he needs more SCVs to get the same amount of income. So you can expect him to get like 75 SCVs, maybe 70 exactly, but yeah, it's not a great feeling. You're mining long distance. Your ability to produce has just gone down a lot. But there's still a chance to win. Drop comes in, SCVs are getting hit. This is the drop he was hoping for, but oh, the SCVs barely survive. Look at this, look at how close this is. So many SCVs on 1 or 4 HP. This could have been a disaster. Very close call, very close call. Very, very close call. He does need a ghost, or I mean a medic. He needs a medic to heal up those SCVs. Also, the carriers are finished up building their interceptor, so we still have about 20 or 30 more seconds for Gensay to try and gain some ground. He's going to try to kill this proxy shield battery base, but Zealots on the middle are buying time for 458 by killing tanks. Gensay is trying to kill as much as he can before the carriers are fully operational, but it's not really working out as he wanted it to. Like, still, look at how many cannons are still up on the middle. 458 has a huge advantage here. And the carriers are ready to fight. Interceptors are still on the way, but there's almost no anti-air on location. You got 5 Goliaths, and Zealots are coming from the top side. More Goliaths are on the middle. He's moving away from the Valkyrie, because Valkyries are very expensive, Goliaths are very cheap. Big drop there on the top, ready to join the party as well. Carriers are cleaning out the bottom side, Zealots are helping out. Yeah, Gensay is struggling really hard now. 458 is playing this with a lot of patience, restraint. He's taking risks, but the risks so far seem to have paid off. Although raids are coming in, we actually have no observers on the scene, so he has to retreat to cannons really quickly, but he's getting surrounded there by the Valkyries and the Raids. This is exactly what he needed, but the drop comes in at the same time. There's nothing to kill the drop. The shuttle allows there at the SCVs, so he's giving up his carriers in exchange for a huge Templar drop, and that goes all the SCVs. He's lost his carriers, that's the GG. The carriers took so much damage, they all almost died. They arrived at the shield batteries just on time to heal up, but this was what mattered most. The shuttles, is what he was aiming for. He was distracting at the front with the carriers, pulling the Raids and the Valkyries in for a fight. And when he saw the Valkyries and the Raids arrive at the carriers, he knew he had a clean shot at getting into this base and killing the SCVs. Misdirections. It worked. 458 got his win, and that's going to be it for today. That's going to be it for today. 458 wins his first game out of the last 3 games. And sadly, there were only 3 games, so we have 2 wins for Gensay, 1 win for 458. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a very technical game. This was a very technical game. We didn't have insane micro fights, but we had a lot of great technical decisions, strategy decisions, very important decisions that I really liked. This was one of those games where you learn a lot about decision making and influencing the opponent. I liked it. I loved it. Great match. So I hope to see you return for the next video. I enjoyed this match a lot. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Leave a comment with your thoughts. Let me know what you want to see next. Do you want to see a team game, a 1v1, or a 3v3? Do you want to see a normal map maybe? I've got a lot of normal map replays, like 100,000 normal map replays. I've got the most professional normal map replays in my possession in the world. So maybe I should do some of those sometime. Just let me know, what do you want to see next? I'm signing out. Have a good night.